Happening now, an update on the victims of a tragic wrong-way crash in Chautauqua County as a fundraiser kicks off to support their family left behind. And a Jamestown native is Super Bowl bound as coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. Plus, a new way of teaching kiddos in Jamestown may be in the works.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
WNY News Now, I'm Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, a fundraiser has been launched to help raise money for a Jamestown couple killed in a tragic wrong-way vehicle collision on I-86 over the weekend. Todd and Sandra Town were traveling on Interstate 86 just past exit 11 in Jamestown around 6 o'clock Saturday night when their pickup truck was struck head-on by a wrong-way driver. A semi-truck then rear-ended the pickup as a result of that sudden collision. A GoFundMe has provided an update on their condition, reporting 57-year-old Todd Town was taken to UPMC Chautauqua Hospital in Jamestown and died to the extent of his injuries. His wife, 54-year-old Sandra Town, was airlifted to UPMC Hammett Hospital in Erie, Pennsylvania, where she underwent emergency surgery. Since then, Sandra was induced into a medical coma, suffering from a broken back, ankle, leg, ribs, nose, and facial bones. She also suffered injury to her lungs. New York State Police say 30-year-old Randolph resident Matthew Berry, who died at the scene, caused the crash after entering the highway traveling in the wrong direction. An investigation determined that Berry suffered from a mental illness and was reported missing to Chautauqua County 911 earlier in the day Saturday. A 57-year-old woman was arrested after allegedly spitting on and screaming at a grocery store employee in Jamestown over the weekend. Officers with the Jamestown Police Department responded to the Tops Market on Foot Avenue around noon Saturday. Following an investigation, Jennifer Janowski was arrested and charged with 2 counts of second-degree harassment. Police alleged that the unprovoked woman approached a Tops employee and yelled, "All men are scum," and then proceeded to spit on him. After being asked to leave, officers said she refused. She then allegedly began to chase that employee around the parking lot before finally fleeing. She was located a short time later and arrested. And a Jamestown man has pled guilty to trafficking methamphetamine. The U.S. Attorney's Office in Buffalo says Luis Martinez faces a mandatory minimum penalty of penalty of 5 years in prison, a maximum of 40, and a fine of $5 million in connection with the federal drug charges. The 50-year-old was accused of selling methamphetamine in and around the Jamestown area in May of 2020. He was arrested in June of that year in a vehicle on Price Street on an outstanding warrant. Well, a new way of teaching kiddos in Jamestown may be in the works as educators explore new learning methods. Bronson Rasmussen joins us live in the newsroom today with more on the potential change in the classroom. Bronson?
Has been in place for more than a decade now. But English language arts teachers in Jamestown are experimenting with other syllabi. Since September, teachers have experimented with what's the best method to either continue Common Core or to try a new format like MHA and or Savas.
County Executive P.J. Wendell says the position will help the county connect to its residents faster and make sure the correct information is being presented.
Social media is such a huge presence. People want information now. Right now, we don't have anybody on a county.
Seems like we're experiencing some technical difficulties. The teaching body will continue to advise the Board of Education, though, with their fundings and eventually come back with a permanent solution. A full story can be found on our website at WNYNewsNow.com. Oh, it sounds like we have the package, so I think that Justin will end up taking that.
It's the first time in a while that Jamestown has had a consistent ELA program, K through 8, and that's part of why we wanted to look at new curricula, because there's a break between second and third, which language changes and how strategies are taught are slightly different. So we wanted that cohesion.
While this process is currently only being tested for English language arts, if successful, it is possible for other subjects to follow suit.
This is our new curriculum process. The first thing we needed to look at was our literacy, and so this is where we started. And without having a successful process in the first one, it's hard to move on to the next ones, but this is our new process for adopting curriculum as we move forward in the school district.
In the end, educators know what teaching method would be most effective.
They're the ones who can make a sound recommendation to us, rather than the other way around, where we say, we spent a bunch of money on a curriculum, this is what you're going to do. They say, we looked at all the curricula out there, and we made a decision based on what is best for our students.
The teaching body will continue to advise the Board of Education on their findings and return with a permanent solution at a later date. Ultimately, this advisory group would pick a favorite approach chosen by teachers, which would be accepted as the standard district-wide. Reporting live in the newsroom, Brunson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
All right, Brunson, thank you very much. Jamestown area native is headed to the Super Bowl as coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. In 2 weeks, coach Nick Sirianni will guide the Eagles as they compete in the NFL championship. On Sunday, the Eagles beat the San Francisco 49ers 31-7 during the NFC Championship game. Sirianni is in his second season with the Eagles. The West Ellicott native graduated from Southwestern High School in 1999. Before joining the Eagles, he spent 3 seasons as the offensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts. The Eagles are headed back to the Super Bowl for the first time since 2018 when they won it all. They will face off against the AFC Championship champions Kansas City Chiefs. That's on February 12th, and the game will be played in Glendale, Arizona. Certainly a lot of happy fans out there, although as we transition over to weather now with Chief Forecaster Andrew Stevenson, I know a lot of people were really hoping for those Bills, you and your Green Bay Packers, but I could get behind Nick Sirianni. I don't know about you, Andrew.
The Eagles wouldn't be a bad consolation prize, considering the coaches from the area. Right now over downtown Warren, cloudy skies over downtown Warren right now. At least the pavements are clear. They just are a little wet. First defense Doppler radar shows that we had light snow across the region this morning, but that light snow is tapering off, and we still have some snow showers up to the north. Yesterday, the high temperature was 40 degrees. The low was 20. The record high for today was 58. Back in 2013, and the record low -13 set back in 2000. So for the rest of the afternoon out there, mainly cloudy skies, a few light snow showers, the west wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. High temperatures today will range in the mid to upper 20s. Now we really have some truly Arctic cold air on the way by the end of the week. Some air we haven't seen since Christmas. I'll let you know how cold it's going to get this week.
All right, Andrew, thank you. As we're continuing this half hour, we're diving into the debate now surrounding a new media public relations position approved here in Chautauqua County. And later, an update on Buffalo Bill Damar Hamlin, who is speaking out publicly for the first time since his cardiac arrest.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
So you think you can cook? We're looking for chefs ready to test their skills, competing in a charity cooking show competition that features a platter of unusual ingredients, including popular local cuisine. Judged by a panel of local celebs, chefs are tested in 3 rounds before a winner is crowned. So you think you can cook? Register online at stsusancenter.org. Produced by Channel 716. All proceeds raised benefit the St. Susan Center in Jamestown, New York.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure It's an experience you've never seen before. Lead and Lures, Roku TV, channel 716.
Looking for a fair and honest auto mechanic? Look no further than Dwyas Auto Service. Located at 140 Main Street in Randolph, our family-owned business is ready for all of your automotive needs. From general service to more complex repairs, count on Dwyas Auto to keep you on the road. We not only keep your cars running smoothly, but also looking great. Us a message on Facebook or call us today at 716-358-2292 to set up an appointment. Dwyas Auto Service. Fair, honest, and the best prices guaranteed.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Chautauqua County's legislature approved a new public relations media officer position last week, but not without some political fanfare. Julia Gress is breaking down what's at issue with this new role.
County Executive PJ Wendell says the position will help the county connect to its residents faster and make sure the correct information is being presented.
Social media is such a huge presence. People want information now. Right now, we don't have anybody on a county-wide level that does this. There is not one person that works with every department. If they want to do a press release, the department will generate it themselves, bring it to us, and then they will, we'll get it out via my office.
The new employee would also handle the social media pages for each department, allowing the other employees in these departments to focus on their jobs. The salary range for this position is $60,000 to $90,000 a year. Wendell says that in the National Association of Counties, only 5 counties, including Chautauqua, did not have this position.
What it's going to do is provide a consistent, constant message. We're going to expand ourselves and be able to do infomercials, small videos to inform our public.
Debate about creating this position was divided on party lines, with District 4 legislator Susan Parker amongst those against a staff increase within the county executive's office.
And in 2023 has now 7, which is an increase of 124.4% in the county executive staff. So I do not feel like that there is a need or that it is a good use of tax-funded money.
It's budgeted. There's no increase to the budget. They approved the budget last year, of which this position was already there. Again, it is bipartisan. This is for every department in Chautauqua County.
District 15's Lisa Vanstrom says she supports the position because it promotes transparency.
I really think that our county executive is really trying to make sure that whatever is happening in Chautauqua County, whether it's a power outage or an emergency or something, that our media has the access to the information immediately, not trying to not communicate or to not let our citizens feel safe.
Ultimately, the vote passed by a 13-3 vote with 3 absent. Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin used social media Saturday to express his gratitude and appreciation for all the support he's received in his recovery. The video Hamlin posted to his Instagram account, he said it was important for him to wait until he had processed all he's been through to finally come and speak publicly. He thanked the Bills training and medical staff, as well as medical teams who treated him in both Cincinnati and Buffalo after his cardiac arrest during a game. He also spoke about how grateful he was and the love and support from his family and from the Buffalo Bills fans. He said the kids who sent him letters and gifts during his recovery made his day most. And to those who donated to his Chasing M's Foundation, added up to millions of dollars here. Hamlin said he's so excited for the things that those donations will allow him to do for kids across the nation. A Pennsylvania state senator recently announced his intent to sponsor a bill known as Damar's Law. The proposed legislation is named after Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin, who experienced a sudden cardiac arrest during a game against the Cincinnati Bengals on January 2nd. In a memo, Democratic Senator Marty Flynn of Lackawanna County, PA, said Hamlin's cardiac emergency points to how crucial timing and preparation is. Senator Flynn's bill would require the AEDs to be present at all sporting events hosted by a school district within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. The bill would also require coaches to complete proper AED training. Well, last week, lawmakers held a hearing to discuss the state's child care shortages. Our New York Capitol correspondent Elise Klein spoke to a handful of lawmakers about what the next step is.
As New York continues to face a child care crisis, this week lawmakers consider policy response. According to a recent study from Cornell University, the state's child care workforce is the lowest it's been in over a decade, decreasing 11% from 2019 to 2020. Some witnesses who testified in a Senate committee hearing this week say this is because child care providers are paid among the lowest wages.
We are caring for the most vulnerable population of our state and our nation. We are caring for our infants and our toddlers. And why are they being left out of the equation?
Some lawmakers agree pay disparities are a significant contributing factor to the child care crisis.
Everyone needs to be treated equal. Every single person who has a place in the development of a child needs to be paid a wage that can keep them there.
In last year's budget, Governor Kathy Hochul committed more than $7 billion to be allocated over the course of 4 years, but some lawmakers and advocates say it's not enough.
The child care sector is in free fall, and the amount we've budgeted so far has not been anywhere close to making it sustainable or even thriving.
Senator Brisport adds he expects the governor to match the ask of last year's budget, which was a minimum of $5 billion annually, into stronger salaries, more expanded programs, and a higher eligibility level for parents. The governor's state executive budget is due next week, and Senator Brisport says the legislature will be bringing these concerns with them into budget talks to follow the governor's budget address. In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
Well, some good news to bring you. Aiden Z. Mack faced a massive undertaking in his young life as he battled leukemia, but now, after years of that battle, he's in remission. And overcoming this kind of metaphorical mountain, it seems only fitting to celebrate on a literal one. Mack's family and friends surprised him at Pekin Peak Friday, where he worked as an instructor before being diagnosed. That's where he rang the bell to signify his cancer is now in remission.
Felt amazing. I mean, 2.5 years doesn't seem that long of a time, but when you're kind of down and out throughout those 2.5 years, it gets stretched out a lot. So, I mean, this is probably the most happy place, like most place I'm happy in the world, and so everyone being here made me even more happy, so yeah.
Those attending were given their own bells to ring to signify Mack's remission. Really awesome to see. Well, coming up next, Chief Weather Forecaster Andrew Stevenson joining us with a full look at our weather and more on some Arctic cold temperatures expected to set in this week.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
15-year-old Yadiel Diaz was subject to a public humiliation stunt by a fellow student in an act of violence and bullying. Now Yadiel's mother, Raquel, has had enough.
Officials are trying to work with the county's homeless coalition to help support the homeless population locally. There are also plans in the works to build 2 new shelters.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
So you think you can cook? We're looking for chefs ready to test their skills, competing in a charity cooking show competition that features a platter of unusual ingredients, including popular local cuisine. Judged by a panel of local celebs, chefs are tested in 3 rounds before a winner is crowned. So you think you can cook? Register online at stsusancenter.org. Produced by Channel 716. All proceeds raised benefit the St. Susan Center in Jamestown, New York.
with coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
To WNY News Now. Currently in downtown Jamestown, we got a couple flurries out there. 28 degrees is the current temperature at Jamestown Airport with a northwest wind of 5 miles per hour and a wind chill of 22 degrees out there. Here's a photo sent to us by Justin this morning as he was coming into work today of the freshly fallen snow at First Terrace. If you have any photos, weather photos you'd like to share with us, you can share it with us on social media, the First Defense Weather page, WNY News Now, and use that hashtag MyLocalDopplerX. Here's what's happening region right now. We're sandwiched between two low pressure systems, one to the south, one to the north. That's bringing some light snow across the region through this afternoon, but we're not really expecting any snowfall totals out of that. Here's the next weather maker, the next big thing we're talking about. Arctic cold air, some air we haven't seen since Christmas. While tomorrow we might not make it out of the teens, the true Arctic cold air will come Thursday night into Friday as the Arctic cold front will push through the region. That's going to drop temperatures to the single digits. We may not make it out of the single digits on Friday. Combine that with the winds, and wind chills will be well below zero, -10 to -20 degrees. So it will be a chilly one on Friday, air we haven't seen since Christmas. But the good news is it will warm up as we head into the week, and this Arctic is not going to last very long. For the rest of the afternoon out there, just mainly cloudy skies, a couple of snow showers through the afternoon, heading into the night, and we'll basically do the same thing tomorrow and the same thing on Wednesday. Cloudy skies with a couple of snow showers out there heading into tomorrow afternoon. We might have a few peaks of sunshine out there, and then as we head into Tuesday night into Wednesday, basically the same thing. Cloudy skies with a couple of snow showers out there. What are the snowfall totals? We're not really around an inch across the southern tier through Wednesday morning, maybe up 1-2 inches across the highest hilltops. So the next 7 days brought to you by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. We go high around 19 tomorrow, couple flurries on Wednesday, temperatures in the mid-20s. Thursday we get close to 30 with partly sunny skies, but then that cold front moves through and temperatures drop to the single digits on Friday, but we rebound into the low 20s for Saturday and back into the 30s on Sunday with a chance of a few rain and snow showers. So the good news is that cold air is not lasting long.
No, certainly not, but definitely going to want to bundle up come Friday. Andrew, thank you. Here's some headlines from around the nation. In the Memphis Police Department, they've announced it's permanently closing their Scorpion unit. Some of the 5 former officers accused of brutally beating Tyree Nichols to death were members of the unit. The department had tasked the Scorpion unit with tackling rising crime in the city. A statement released by the department says while the actions of a few people in the specialized unit brought dishonor to Scorpion, Memphis police are committed to take steps in the healing process of all those impacted and build trust in the community. Well, next month will mark 1 year of Russia's war on Ukraine. Recently, President Joe Biden announced the U.S. will send Abrams tanks to Ukraine to push back Russian forces. Following that announcement, concerns started rising after top Ukrainian officials were fired or resigned amid alleged corruption scandals. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp reports on officials who are reassuring lawmakers that the U.S. support for Ukraine is not ending up in the wrong hands.
In a Senate Foreign Relations hearing, the primary focus was on combating Russia's aggression long term, specifically with Ukraine.
We will continue to support your heroic efforts to achieve victory. We will stand with you as your fight for your homeland against a dictator trying to erase your nation by force.
Since the war began, the U.S. has provided billions in military and humanitarian aid, and during this hearing, officials from the State Department and the Department of Defense are reassuring senators that the assistance the U.S. is providing is getting to the right hands. The New York Times reporting several top Ukrainian officials were fired a couple days ago amid a corruption scandal. The Times reports of allegations that Ukraine's military had agreed to pay inflated prices for food meant for their troops. The Times report says there was no sign that the scandal involved any misappropriation of Western military assistance. U.S. officials are praising Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky for trying to weed out any corruption.
President Zelensky's decision this week to fire and accept the resignations of officials suspected of corruption sends a strong signal of Ukraine's own resolve in this regard.
This alleged corruption scandal comes at a time when the U.S. and others have announced they're sending tanks to Ukraine, something Zelensky has asked Western countries for to push back Russian forces. The DoD says they have always prioritized accountability.
The U.S. government has not seen credible evidence of any diversion of U.S.-provided weapons outside of Ukraine. Instead, we see Ukraine's frontline units effectively employing security assistance every day on the battlefield.
At the Capitol, Rachel Knapp reporting.
Rachel, thank you. Well, federal and state authorities, they're investigating a crash involving a small bus and box truck in snowy conditions that killed 6 people in upstate New York near the Canadian border. The accident happened around 6 in the morning Saturday on Highway 37 in Louisville. It's about 150 miles north of Syracuse along the St. Lawrence River. State police say the 6 people who died, as well as 3 others who were seriously hurt, were on the bus. One of the people injured is in critical condition. State police and the National Transportation Safety Board are investigating the cause of this crash. The NTSB said it launched a 6-member team to perform a safety investigation. Oh, coming up, you can find them in nail salons across the country. Ultraviolet lamps. They're commonly used to dry nails after a gel polish manicure, but a recent study finding the light causes more damage than good. Let me explain coming up.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
The issue for the agriculture community and some GOP lawmakers is the new financial burden.
The DA telling me he's received 30,000 files alone from New York State Police in the form of things like PDF files, Excel sheets, and video evidence.
Once those 4 graduate from the academy, it will leave the city of Jamestown with 60 firefighters.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
So you think you can cook? We're looking for chefs ready to test their skills, competing in a charity cooking show competition that features a platter of unusual ingredients, including popular local cuisine. Judged by a panel of local celebs, chefs are tested in 3 rounds before a winner is crowned. So you think you can cook? Register online at stsusancenter.org. Produced by Channel 716, all proceeds raised to benefit the St. Susan Center in Jamestown, New York.
Have you ever wanted to live out your dreams? Hunt, fish, in all corners of the earth? Well, now's your chance. Follow Primitive Patriot Outdoors as we live out our dreams and show you how to live out yours through outdoor adventures. From Western New York to Africa to all corners of the earth, follow us on this adventure. It's an experience you've never seen before. Lead and Lures, Roku TV, Channel 716.
Welcome back. You can find them in nail salons all across the country. Ultraviolet lamps. They're commonly used to dry nails after a gel manicure, but a recent study found that the light might cause major damage to your skin. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither hears from a dermatologist about how to best protect the delicate skin on your hands.
It's a popular way to polish nails, but the UV lamps used to dry gel nail polish may damage DNA and create cancer-causing mutations in human cells, according to a recent study.
Some people will get gel manicures every couple of weeks, and so it's a chronic direct exposure of ultraviolet light to your hands.
Dr. Susan Masick with Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center says the more the body is exposed to UV, the higher the potential of developing skin cancer over time. She says people don't often think about the risk of exposure to hands.
There's not a lot of extra skin. That skin's very delicate and sensitive, and also you can have skin cancers around the nails as well.
Masick says skipping this type of manicure is the best way to lower risk, but if you don't want to give up the gel, she says to protect yourself by using broad spectrum sunscreen or fingerless gloves. You can also ask the salon about alternative drying methods like LED lights, which are thought to be safer.
if they've already been a fan of gel manicures, it's not that they have to necessarily stop completely. It could be something that they could reserve for special occasions only, but the less they do, the less their risk may be for skin cancer.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
That's it for us today. News continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com.